If you're not a fan of salmon, I guarantee if you wrap bacon around it, you'll become the biggest salmon fan ever.
Oh, I can guarantee that.
Check out the color of this salmon.
I was just gonna say, why is that so pink?
It already looks smoked. Like
It
doesn't
does.
it? I thought it was at first.
Yeah, it totally does.
Okay, so I have never actually had wild caught salmon. I've never had it, and I've never seen it in the store because I feel like that's like more difficult to find. I got it at Longo's. Okay,
Oh,
no
not surprised.
relation, even though that's our last name, no relation to the store. But I saw this, I'm like, that's what my inspiration for this video was.
Well, it looks beautiful. Right off the bat, it looks spectacular.
Okay, so we are wrapping bacon around salmon. If you aren't a fan of salmon, I think this is your gateway into the fish.
Why?
Because bacon wrapped around anything is delectable.
Okay, so my question to you is gonna be, were you gonna take the skin off? And I see you're doing that.
I'm currently doing it.
Because I was like, why are you cutting it into pieces before taking the skin off?
No, because, okay, well, I started to remove the skin, even though I had a super, super sharp knife. I cut it in little pieces because I feel like it's more easy to deal with taking the skin off because this was more expensive than your traditional salmon, and I didn't want to waste any of the actual salmon.
So you wouldn't leave the skin on?
No, so I actually love eating salmon skin.
I know
because
you do.
If you cook it properly, it gets crunchy and delectable, but because I'm wrapping bacon around these, it would just turn into like the skin would turn gummy and no, thank you.
No.
So that's why I took it off in this case.
Maddie likes skin of all kinds.
I do.
Chicken skin.
Who doesn't like chicken skin?
Turkey skin.
That's the best part of the turkey.
All kinds of skin. Fish skin. I'm like you just want to be sitting there eating scales?
No, skin, okay, this is all sounding very disgusting.
She does though.
Okay, so all I did to the salmon was add salt, pepper, garlic.
That's
We
it?
talked in a previous video about maybe doing salt, pepper, nutritional yeast. I think that would be delectable on here.
That could work.
That could totally work. So that's why I kept it nice and simple because this was a wild caught salmon. I've never had it before. I'm like, am I really gonna notice a difference here?
I'd be curious to know that as well because the color is screaming like artificial.
I know.
It's like, why is
I
that
couldn't
such an
handle it.
intense color?
I want a shirt that's that color.
Yeah, that is a gorgeous color.
Now, bacon, I don't know about you in your neck of the woods, but bacon is super expensive here. So this was kind of more on the expensive side of things in terms of recipe because the salmon was expensive and bacon is expensive now. So it's more of like a treat type dish these days.
How much is a pound of bacon now?
It's like $8.
What?
I know. Remember when you could get it for like $3.99?
Or $2.99? Or $1.99?
You'd like stock up and buy like 20 of them and they'd be like just hanging out in your freezer.
That is insane.
Yeah, $8 for that thing. So I was using every little bit of everything to do with this.
Okay, so based on the size of salmon that you cut here, you're going you cut the pound of bacon down the center in half.
Yes. Okay, so you will also see I'm wrapping this by hand. I am not using toothpicks.
Or gloves.
Or, what about that? Excuse me, why are you trying to step to me on not wearing gloves?
Not 1%.
I thought so.
I'm not.
Or I thought not.
No, honey, I'm not. I'm saying, I don't know what's with everybody like getting flack in videos for their home food that they're preparing for themselves and their families about not wearing gloves.
I know.
This isn't restaurant cooking. This isn't a catering job. This is like, I'm making this for my family.
Exactly.
So like, if you got a problem with that, like gloves are like one-time use plastic.
Use clean hands. Wash your hands many times during this.
Don't be picking your nose and then touching the bacon and the salmon. Did you do that?
No! Okay, so I didn't use toothpicks. I didn't use those little metal things that sometimes you see people using to attach or secure the bacon. Bacon, when it cooks, contracts just like all meat, so you don't need to worry about that.
Okay, makes sense. I also have a peeve with those sticks.
Yeah, and they look scary. You see all these like sticks sticking out of things. Like, no, it doesn't look appetizing. Yeah. It doesn't look welcoming.
All right, now what are we doing here? We got some kind of a glaze happening?
Yes, so because I went nice and simple on the actual seasoning of the salmon as well as the bacon, those two things, I love the flavor of salmon. I love the flavor of bacon. I didn't want to go too nuts on the glaze here, but we are going to be adding a glaze to the outside of this to add like a sticky, sweet sweet, salty, garlicky vibe. Okay, that's my favorite thing, the garlic. Okay,
I don't know how
love
you
it.
can smell that and think it smells good, honestly.
It is phenomenal. I love it, and I used it in here, okay?
What is that, ginger?
It's ginger. It's a very simple glaze marinade. You can get the recipe in the description box below. It's nice and super simple, very flavorful, very balanced. And I just made that while the oven was preheating.
That is easy then.
Yeah.
You can do it in that little amount of time.
Exactly. So give it a smell test. You got to smell as you go. It smelled absolutely wonderful. And I will point out, I use my own homemade sriracha in this,
Ooh.
which you have been obsessed with lately.
I'm almost done mine.
Are you?
So please make more.
I gave you a lot too, okay?
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
almost
make
done.
more. I will make more.
It's good.
Okay, so this is what these look like before they go into the oven. I still can't get over the redness of the salmon, like peeking out through the bacon.
It looks artificial.
I know, normally I feel like regular salmon would be the color of the bacon.
It is. It's like a super pale pink. That's
It looks
why
like a piece of candy in there.
Yeah, like whenever someone has like a salmon pink shirt, it's not that color.
It's never that color.
That's like coral.
Ooh,
Is it not?
Yes.
That color is just very, very vibrant. That does look like smoked salmon.
I thought it was at first, and I was like, oh dear, did I buy smoked salmon? Because it's getting a double smoke.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did remember to add the pellets to this because we want these to have more smoke flavor in them.
Ooh.
Now, after 5 minutes, I started adding the glaze because this cooker cooks fast.
Yes.
And I wanted to get as much glaze on these as humanly possible.
And you don't want to dry out the salmon. Like, so you do want to
Well, the bacon is fatty, so either way, you're not going to be, I didn't think that you're going to be worried about dryness here.
Well, you just don't want to overcook it. It can't be in there for 18 years.
Yes. So every 5 minutes, look, eventually they start getting more crispy, more sticky, more sweet. Every 5 minutes, you just give it a glaze, okay?
Oh, good heavens. I bet that smelled incredible.
It did. It smelled so good. Very, I'm going to say it smelled more bacony than fishy. And I think that's a good thing.
I think that's probably good.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why, but fish, you don't want it to taste fishy.
And did it smell fishy, like when it was raw?
No, it smelled like regular salmon. So aroma-wise, it didn't smell any different than like a regular, not wild-caught salmon. Okay, so then I added some sesames on the top for some crunchiness and just for some more visual appeal.
Ooh.
And because that glaze was so sticky, it just stuck right to them.
Oh, good heavens.
Yeah, they were so good. The bacon had become, because of the glaze, it had become like caramelized. It was sweet, it was salty, it was slightly salmon-y.
I feel like this is missing some sort of a tartar sauce.
Ooh.
This is
like
needing
a creamy sauce?
Yes.
Agreed. They kind of do need a dunker because everything needs a dunker.
Even with a glaze, I feel like that could need some sort of a creamy dip.
Oh, the glaze for sure is delectable, but you could always go with the dip.
And because these are like, I feel like these would be good as like an appetizer for a gathering.
Yes, yes.
Put some little toothpicks in them after they come out so people can just grab one, dip it in, one bite poppers.
Totally. They were so good, so delicious, expensive, but worth the splurge.
Would you make them again?
I would make them again, and these days I feel like anything is a splurge, really.
I know. Would you buy that salmon again?
I would because of the color, but in terms of like flavor-wise, if I didn't see the color, I would have thought it was like regular salmon. So maybe because the bacon was wrapped around it, there kind of was a lot of flavor going on. Next time I would try it, maybe just like a regular grilled salmon just to tell the difference. Because maybe side by side you'd be able to tell. Mm-hmm. But in this application, there's a lot of fun going on flavor-wise. And leave the toothpicks off of them. See how it wasn't necessary? They contract into a perfect little pouch.
And just like those are cool. They
Is
sound
pouch
cool.
the right word? I don't think pouch was the right word there.
They look kind of like a little pouch. But like, I don't know. So I feel like it's very difficult to change the toothpick people's minds. Mm-hmm. Like if you're a toothpick person, I doubt that you'll try it without them.
Just try it. Trust me. Look, you don't need them.
It's an extra step. It's an extra tool that you have to you have in your kitchen for absolutely no reason. That was the lamest sound ever. Did you hear that?
Oh my God. No, it was...
No, you didn't do that. You were like...
Is that it? Was
No.
that it? Was that it at all?
No, it's...
You do a great sound effect, man. Phenomenal sound effect. Phenomenal fart noise, Kiki. Is that something to be proud
That's
of?
my claim to fame. Phenomenal fart noise.